Todd's ready. So
Thumbs
uh,
up.
Victoria told me I had to do this because the, everything is broken. What can you do? Red pill, blue pill. Welcome to the Matrix. All right, there you go. That's for you, Victoria. Uh, and that's going to be a lot of this show today. Is are you at some point you got to accept everything's broken? And is this the first time in the history of reselling online that things have been broken? No, they break shit all the time. And part of selling on platforms is understanding that there are going to be issues, and you must be flexible enough to deal with them. Unless you're John, who's not here with us today, who will tell you that his sales are up and everything's hunky dory, and he don't have any idea what's going on in his company. That unless you're that big, but a lot of it, I would tell you, his product, or he's the only seller on several of them. So that we're going to ignore him for this conversation. But for the rest of us, stuff happens, and is this the first time eBay has had problems? That's a joke, right? Uh, if you sold enough on Amazon, the latest fiasco was, how many people I know, a handful of people that I talked to who still haven't got their final identity verified or whatever. It's crazy. Amazon, their modus operandi is if it works for 80% of the people, they'll deal with the other 20%. They rolled out. And so you've always got 20%. That's why if you go look at the Amazon boards, they're just full of people complaining. Go look at all these groups about how you know have your account linked to somebody else you've never heard of who lives on the other side of the country, and you go, how the hell they do that? Yeah, there are a lot of people been caught up in a lot of errors on Amazon. So it's not just eBay. And what are you gonna do about it? That's the whole thing. So if you're if you're not prepared to deal with this, it was nice seeing you today. You might as well go ahead and quit now. Bye bye. All those. It's nice knowing you. Everybody else who's still left after saying goodbye, hey, let's have a good conversation today about things you're doing, what you can do. It's there's enough selling experience between us and you guys to uh to fight through this. It's the a lot of the online stuff is, are you tough enough to survive? The first thing you got to survive is, are you self disciplined enough to list and do the things you need to do? That's your first hurdle. So, okay, so we just lost 25% of the panel because he didn't make it.
Oops.
Uh, what about your health? Is your health strong enough? We almost lost her. Um, I'm a solo person by myself. I've been suffering from burnout for at least a year and a half.
The
It happens
death of the
to everybody,
show.
folks. Just because you're brave enough to turn a computer on doesn't mean we all don't suffer from the same things you guys do. And but we're dumb enough to hang around and keep fighting. Um,
Lag says Steve got voted off the panel.
Oh yeah, I was voted off the panel a long time ago. I just keep showing up.
yeah, I keep thinking, why did I send him a link again? Damn it!
I know. I don't know how I keep getting that link, but I
And
keep
then
showing up.
Todd, I didn't know how to make up one for you, so and I didn't know if it would kill the stream if I took us all out.
It's all right.
So we just left the dude with the hand there. Um, so I got a list of I put 12 things down. Or actually, one of them was introduction, but it's a lot of stuff. What you get, just to get you thinking about stuff. First off, I'd ask you a question. Uh, your time is valuable, and if you listen to a lot of resellers, who are you listening to? Are you listening to people that are they entertainers or educators or a combination of both? Uh, and it's nice that we've got another lady for the stream. Oh wait a minute, you had a haircut. You don't look like a woman anymore.
What the
Oh,
hell are you talking about?
it's Babushka. Where's your shawl?
You're hateful this morning, Scott.
Me?
Yeah, did you get up on the wrong side of the bed?
Yeah, the dogs woke me up at 3:00. I didn't go back to bed till almost 5.
Tom was late. He was finishing piano lessons.
Yeah.
But I think there's and you guys can chime in. I think there's plenty of room for you to listen to educators and entertainers. But you need to understand who you're listening to. And if you lean more one to the other, if you're trying to learn more about eBay and want to keep a mindset, I would tell you, listen to people who talk serious subjects and try to solve problems. If you're perfect with all this and you just want to find new ideas and things to pick up, which if you're perfect with everything on these platforms, I don't know that you need to be entertained. So it has changed. So I started watching some again. I could tell you guys, I rarely watch anything reselling because when you live at 24/7, man. And then Like says he listens to the voices. Yep. I listen to them too. They make me do lots of stupid stuff. The voices in my head have lots of good ideas. They also suck sometimes.
The voices in my head have lots of good ideas, but they never seem to go any further than that. They just stay there.
And it seems every time I try to talk the voices out of doing something, like, especially when I was doing retail arbitrage, there'd be a store there and I'm like, do I really want to drive? Sue can probably tell you the same thing. Do I really want to drive an extra 30 minutes for one more store? And I try to talk myself out of it, and I'm like, man, I'm all the way here. Might as well go. And that'll be the store that I just crushed. It never seems to fail. Yard sales are the same way. Do we really want to go all the way across town for that one yard sale? And that's the one that you just feel a van of.
I don't know if I ever even thought that way. I just went. So one time I was in Charlotte and I had Carla with me and we left Charlotte, but there was always a stop. There was a Walmart. I can't think of what city it was in, but it was only maybe 15 minutes outside of Charlotte on the way home. And I always stopped there. And they had a Books A Million there, which is probably not there anymore.
Belmont?
No.
Was it not Belmont?
No. But anyway, I was 15 minutes outside of Charlotte, and we just ran into the Walmart. And we ended up with 5 carts of a Legos clearance. And you should have seen us. We looked like wild women trying to pack the car because the car was not full because I would bring Carla with me so she could ship while I was on the road. And so we were there a long time. And then we went to Books A Million too. And then we get in the car and I get this message from my husband and it says, "You almost home?" And I was like, I'm 15 minutes outside of Charlotte. And so I said, well, we ended up stopping, and I think I had one more. I think I used to stop in Anderson. I used to stop if I left early enough, I would go there on the way, but usually I'd pop in there on the way home. And I don't remember if that was back when Toys R Us was still around because I always went to Toys R Us in Anderson. But yeah, I had to tell my husband, I am only 15 minutes. Oh, I don't know if I told him. I said, we made an extra stop. And so I'm an hour and a half away or something. But I said, there's one more store I'm going to stop at and then we'll be home. And I don't know if he told me that day, but he said to me later, he goes, your gravestone is going to say one more store.
Do you live on the Charlotte side of Atlanta?
No, I really live straight on the north.
Okay. Because I was just saying, if you're an hour, oh Lord, you're between Greenville and Atlanta, and you're you might be an hour and a half away from Atlanta.
Well, I was an hour, so I'm on the north side of Atlanta.
Right.
And it takes me like an hour and 20 minutes to get to Anderson, South Carolina.
Really?
Yeah.
You must go when there's nobody on the roads.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's been a time or two. One night I ended up staying over in Greenville because there was such a bad accident. And I was on my way home and I was exhausted. And we were just not moving for an hour and a half or something. So I just pulled in and spent the night in Greenville.
85 is under construction.
Yes.
Yeah.
And don't believe the thing about just because other resellers live in the area, because I've hit Sue's Walgreens and the old Rite Aid and done really well, and she lived right there.
I mean, we're talking about a mile from my
And
house.
she's like,
to go to that
you were
Walgreens.
just a mile from my house. I'm like, I'm glad you don't pay attention to what I say about Walgreens.
At the time, I wasn't doing a lot of Walgreens.
Well, you all had different styles, you know.
Yeah.
I was talking to some people at FlipCon that are Amazon resellers, and they've got out of the massive arbitrage deal.
I think a lot of people have.
They said it's just not enough money in it, and I'm thinking, well apparently there is, because some people I know are still doing it.
I mean, Atlanta obviously is a big retail area because it's the Metro Atlanta is big. But I remember there was one item that I was looking for, and I talked to the manager, and she looked it up, and there wasn't another one left in Atlanta. And I said, well, where's the next closest place? And she said Charlotte, and there was maybe 3 or 4 of those stores in Charlotte. So that's when I started doing I would buy everything in Atlanta, and then I'd go to Charlotte. And, I already had an idea in mind. I didn't just drive to Charlotte and look for stuff. I already had, okay, this I need in Charlotte. I'm going to go to these 4 stores. But then I started my route and figuring out what was close to those stores in Charlotte. And if I had time, as I was, the timing is a lot of it, because the minute I would leave home, Paul was like, when are you coming home?
Yeah, that's one thing. That's the one thing I would tell people. If you're chasing one item, you're going to fail. You need the one item to get you to places and have a plan, because the one item will pay for your expenses. Everything else you pick up is profit. And so the one item, and a lot of it's the same thing. You can go to different, and because you don't realize how much gas, as much as we joke about it, it does add up over time, especially at the current rate. Gas is going up $3.50 again here. It's a huge difference whenever 3 years ago we were paying $1.82 a gallon. It's a huge expense. Hotels. Have you seen the price of hotels lately? Hotels.
Oh my gosh, yeah,
Crazy.
Those $60 hotels are now they're Steve hotels. The Super 8s are $80-$90 now.
Yeah, even more. Sometimes.
So that's made RA much more difficult to get out on the road and do some of this stuff, because it's much more expensive to. Your expenses have gone way up, so you're taking more of your. So every business model is not perfect, and I've backed off of it just because personal situation. I don't want to be away anymore, but there's other ways to beat this. I'm pushing back into eBay, looking to make it higher than Amazon, and I enjoy eBay more, even though the listing I don't like as much, because Amazon is so easy to list. But
you can streamline that eBay stuff though. Once you get into a groove, you can get it done.
No, absolutely, and that's a lot of that is if John was here, he'd tell you, yes, system. If you build, but it's more than systems. It's organization. It's a plan on how to do things. It's time management. There's a lot of things that go to it, but so the first thing
I'm actually only going to be on for an hour today, because the lady that used to work for me for Amazon is coming over, and I got these super nice shelvings for free off of Facebook Marketplace from a daycare center. They're kind of low, which is nice anyway, because I'm putting them on the porch and I've got windows out there, but I'm going to have it streamlined to where when I bring in the stuff for eBay, it's going on this side, and then my shipping and listing is on this side, and then my stuff that's listed is on this side. And she's much better at efficiency than I am, so she's going to come and spend the day with me today and work on that, because I'm the kind of person that I just jump right in and start doing it. Well, then I got piles here and piles there. I do have my one area where I have my stuff that's listed, but I definitely need like a system.
Yeah, so the one thing I tell you is just speaking of system is to start understanding your platforms and try different things. If you've never tried pay-per-click and you've got a bunch of stuff, I would tell you the same. its equivalent on the eBay side is promoted listings, and try different ways of promoted listings. Between Josh Galt, who does a show most days at noon my time, one Eastern. A lot of serious talk about growth and about future things, and listening to James, my boring reseller life, really had a great discussion yesterday on niches. You know, a lot of people go, man, if you just become an expert in something, you can really be known for it. And he had some great thoughts on that. It's wonderful to be an expert and have repeat business and that kind of stuff, but it also leaves you very vulnerable to market whims and market. If something goes out of favor or loses a little traction, and that's all you do, you go with it. Great example is all you youngins out there, y'all even know who Kodak is? Kodak and for most of the 20th century just owned photography. Their film was by far the best. Fuji made some inroads and stuff, but Kodak was really not Kodak Eastman Kodak. They were tremendous. I don't know if y'all realize it or not, but one of the guys who was the big developers of digital photography, and it's been around a lot longer than you think. Digital photography is nearly as old as me. The guy in the mid 70s came up with digital photography, and he took it to Kodak and said, listen, this is the next great thing. And Kodak did what all big companies do, and all companies with no vision do. And this is a lesson. This is a Walmart versus Kmart. All these, they go, we make our money on the film and the processing. We don't want them to be able to do it. That'll never catch on. Anybody? How many digital? Kodak still makes digital cameras, but they were number one worldwide. Like it's like Coke going down. Y'all don't understand how big Kodak was in that industry.
Here's how bad it was. A couple weeks ago, somebody posted one of these on what is this thread. So nobody knows what film. This is a film canister, of course, but nobody knew that, right? I mean, there was people in the forum that knew it, but the younger people don't even know. That's how big a mistake that was.
It's also a great corner keeper.
They used to make metal ones, and I was at a state sale the other day, and one of the lady who watches the show who lives here come walking by and goes, I guess it's a good thing I'm ahead of you because I got these before you. I'm like, I wouldn't even thought there was any money in them. And no, she says I do pretty good with them. So the old tin metal, very interesting. I sell a lot of camera stuff. I've got 2 to ship out today, and I wouldn't look at the tins.
I honestly didn't know Kodak still made digital cameras.
Yeah, I picked that one. Do I know where it is?
I mean, I thought when I saw them at estate sales, they were old.
They are a little old, but they've become the Vivitars. Like in hard plastic. They're hard, yeah, that's the one thing. Dusty used the Kodak, and because he's like, it's simple. I don't have to mess with it. eBay's pictures are only 8 megapixels anyway. What do I care? And so there's several times his broke, and I had, he's like, you're at yard sales. Find me a Kodak camera. I'm like, all right. And so every time I pick him up, I text him a picture or whatever. But yeah, the one I picked up, I think it's worth, $24. It's not worth a lot. But when you only pay 50 cents for, Jacob will list it. If it was just me listing, it'd be much more difficult. So I'm trying to do $20 minimum, but
can you, looking back now, can you imagine if the person is still alive or the people are still alive from Kodak that said, no, it's not going to do anything?
Yeah.
Some of these YouTube channels that do like the top 10 type videos, somebody ought to do one that says the top 10 screw ups because, the woman that wrote the Harry Potter series, she submitted her first book to like 30 different publishing companies, and they said, no, this won't sell.
Even the one that finally bought it said it wouldn't sell.
Yeah,
they only made 500 copies. Yeah.
And it has made billions of dollars for everybody.
But you have to be careful to guard yourself from those kind of ideas. If you never, Mr. Breaking Bad hand in the middle there is a great example. How much stuff do you buy at auction, dude, that people just pass on because they don't want to deal with pool filters and all the stuff that you buy lots and lots of, and just will be willing to list the lots and sell. And
500 grosses of 3X panties.
That's all. Yeah, that's all that'll never sell. You got to get
people
that
at auctions are there for the quick buck, the glitz and glamour, the toys, the guns, the antiques. But you're there. Dusty was there for the postcards and the paper, and I'm sure Tom is there.
Telegraph
for
was
things.
$10, and I sold it for $100 yesterday.
Nice.
Hey, I'm trying to look right now to see.
Is that a telegraph? I mean, that's what you said. It was a telegraph.
Yeah, telegraph, Morse code.
Do I have a good example of anything about?
Youngsters don't know what that is. They don't want to buy it.
And no lag.
Yeah,
Todd and I did not or do not remember the little guy running up to our front house with a telegraph for your mom's kid. That was before our time. Because lag always.
I still remember the guy. I still remember the guy delivering milk, though.
Well, we did too. I was talking about that last night with my daughter and son. My son and daughter.
My grandmother got milk until the last day.
You could still send telegrams when I was in high school.
And in the wintertime, the cream would pop out the top.
Western Union telegrams.
We had Coburg. That's who our milk.
You could still send a telegram, I'm sure.
I was going through some papers of my father-in-law's or something and found a telegram that he had sent to my mother-in-law.
This morning before the show, I was listening. I watched Don's video, the auction professor, and he had a real good discussion, with himself, of course, talking in the camera. That's what we all do.
I can't bring myself
You're making
to
a
watch
video
it anymore.
Talking about low value items and how much, especially as things get more expensive. And fees go up and everything, all these people that are selling these $5 items, free shipping, you're killing yourself. You can't, the economies of scale. If you list 100 items that you bought a nickel for at $5, I mean, what have you sold? You sold $500. How long did it take you to list those 100 items? Whereas if you moved yourself up to going, I'm only going to list a $20 item. How much more profit you're going to make? Your time? People don't understand their time. And
if you're listing $5 items,
Todd, there's nothing wrong with those, but you've been selling them in lots. You don't sell them one at a time.
No,
well, even if he did, as long as you got scale, you have to have scale. You have to have a lot of those $5 items at the same time.
I bought 500 of these. I'm selling them 10 at a time for $30.
So you don't want to sell them for a couple $3 free shipping.
This is my last 70 or so. I've sold 430.
Nice. And you didn't buy those that long ago, so they're going quick.
There's a lot of these channels, like the three that I mentioned today, that do a really nice job of. If you just glean information, you could have watched Don's video. You could have watched 2 or 3 minutes of Don's video, and I watched the whole 13 minutes. But he gives a lot of his justification for it. And we have a lot of similar background. We both came through restaurants. We both worked a lot of the same places and fast food. So Don and I see a lot of things very similar. Not always, but but you got to have those people that give you top ideas. It really, the thing you should take away from a video like that is, am I making enough money per item to justify listing these items? Do I need to change my rules? That's one of the numbers in here. You need a set of rules. I've talked about that over and over and over. You need if you're at a yard sale and you see something and you go, man, that's going to sell for $13. I don't care if it's $1. Is it worth does it make your, if I'm going to throw it in a box, send it to Amazon, I buy it. If it's not 20, it doesn't go on eBay. I've got plenty of still look at my store and go, but Beard, you're listing a bunch of remotes. You're listening. This is stuff I already own, folks. That was before I was very good at the rules. And Jacob is actually listening to remotes. But
It doesn't always work though. I bought 10,000 Band-Aids and I haven't sold any of them yet. They're in packs of 10 in little plastic keepers, and I got them listed 50 packs for $10 or something, and not a single one is sold.
And you're promoting them too and all that craziness?
Yeah, I started promoting July 28th, and so far my sales are up 24% since I started that.
What? You mean promoted listings work?
So you're saying promoted listings works?
It obviously is for me. I don't know what the hell's going on.
So you just did it across the whole store?
Yeah, I'm lazy like that. I just do it all. I'm not gonna pick and choose. I ain't got the. I'm too old. I don't have time in my life.
Not if you're doing it in bulk. It's not worth picking and choosing. Just do it.
But yeah, I'm sure the telegraph machine didn't need to be promoted, but it was.
But I don't think when people think that way though, you're promoting against a category, not just an individual item.
Right.
And so that might, somebody might be looking for, in a general area, and especially something that's older like that. How do you know they spelled it right? They did, you know what I mean?
Yeah, there weren't very many sellers for this on eBay, but whatever.
Let me do a public service announcement here right now. Lag. There is no way, no one on this panel that was born in the 1800s. Okay. Let's see. Probably about 1955 is the earliest anybody was born. Okay.
Ooh, somebody's older than me?
I feel pretty young.
I was born in 57. Todd, you were born in 55, weren't you?
I don't know, 25, 55, somewhere in there.
Shit, you're old enough to be my father.
I'm so
Steve,
old.
we are like toddlers.
Right. I was born in 71.
I was born in 69. We're toddlers.
Are you serious?
One of my students said, "Mr. Parker, you're so old you fart dust."
So Tactical Z, that's a good question to ask. What percentage do you promote at? I don't know. There's your answer.
I feel good being the youngest on the panel.
So I switched to. So I used to do a flat percentage until yesterday. After listening to others talk about dynamic, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna give dynamic a shot. And so I switched to dynamic yesterday, and I went from a slower weekend than normal. I had been averaging for eBay. I've been averaging 300 a day, which my goal is to get to 500 a day. And it pushed back into the 190 range for the last few days, and then all of a sudden I switched to dynamic yesterday, and I sell 5 something. So there's something to the dynamic. If you listen to a lot of the people that I've been mentioning, there's a lot of discussion about dynamic being better right now. I don't know if it is or it isn't. I could just tell you what happened yesterday, and I sold stuff overnight, which happens the more I list on eBay, the more stuff I get up. I've only got, do I even have 400 listings? I don't even know how many listings I've got. So let's see, overview.
I put everything at 5.1% because I'm just lazy.
I have 451 listings.
I only do 3.
When you listen to somebody like James has over 50,000 listings. I have 451. And a lot of those were, me and Jacob listed 30 remotes yesterday. And Beard King Picker. Hello.
There's only one Beard King around here.
Damn right.
What did you say was around there?
The OG bearded picker here.
That's right.
But it's, I think you've got to be willing, like what I started the thing out. You've got to be willing to try stuff. You've got to be willing to go. You know what? It is understand your numbers. That's another one in there. Understand your fee. Understand numbers and fees. Math is hard for most people, folks. And if you understand math and your fees and can work this out right, you get something and go, man, somebody sold that thing for $90, but you've got $3 in it. How happy would you be to get it for $60 plus your shipping? Understand that holding out for the max money, the name of the game is we flip stuff. If you if you keep it, you're a collector, and so how many things are you willing to try? If I'm buying at yard sale prices and I'm selling at least $20, so I'm not paying any more than $3 or $4 for a $20 item, okay, so 10-12% promoted. Okay, so I'll pay $2 extra to sell this thing. They're averaging about 10% is what I'm averaging on promoted.
Heather, you can turn it on and off at will.
Promoted listings, yes.
Yeah, you can. So all you have to do is go to under promoted, the dashboard, create a or it'll show you all your campaigns under promotions, and then click end any. You can end them all. I ended them all yesterday and then restarted them again. It takes about 3 or 4 minutes to end one, and then a couple more minutes for it to recognize that you can start another one. But I think there's something to that. There are a lot of people. John will tell you he restarts his promotions twice a day.
Which I actually went from the dynamic down to 6% because those vitamins, I did the dynamic and those were 12.9%. So I changed it to 6% and sold the rest.
Cha-ching King, hey, I appreciate that, man. $10 super chat. Good morning. Let's sell some stuff. I'm not a collector. I think I'm a camera collector. Every table in this building's got cameras on it. And I've been selling cameras, and which is really weird.
I do collect one thing.
It's like one of my children are leaving. I'm like,
Volkswagen.
Yeah. Oh, Joni sent this to me yesterday. Where's my phone? Steve, I found the perfect thing for you and Marsha.
Okay, now Josh,
You're trying to get her on your bad side, aren't you?
Marsha. So
she ain't listening. She's at work.
Josh, I didn't know you could do dynamic with a cap.
Yeah, if there's a cap, I would do it.
Yeah, so you can do it. So really play with dynamic. So there's a cap, and so you can put dynamic and go, but I don't want to go any higher than like 9%. So it'll fight for you till there. You can also do dynamic adjustment, and so yesterday I tried dynamic plus 0.5%. So if that's where it's at, I can go put me another 0.5% up, see what happens. What's it going to cost? Not much.
Now that I know there's a cap, I'll do dynamic. I was worried that there wasn't a cap.
And so this is what these platforms. So they might be broken. They might be us. You've got to become an expert on this stuff. That's why I'm telling you. Are you watching to see what people pick up? Or are you listening to people that you can learn and brings thought to your business? Because I'm gonna spend one of the next few days 4 or 5 hours sitting right here working on my store. And I would tell you a lot of things, the store doesn't matter as much, but I want to put the store in categories. And so I can, I want all the remotes on dynamic, or I want all the remotes on just plain, because they are lower priced items. Maybe I don't want to spend dynamic because somebody looking for a remote for a certain model needs that remote. And so I want to have a little promotion to put me up against the other ones, but I don't necessarily need the 12% electronics promoted. And so how do you do that? You set them up based by store categories, all the categories except remotes. I've talked about it in the past, and I never did it because eBay was not my main focus, is to have a clearance section. I want to be able to run a sale on items that have been so long listed. Everything in that section is half off. That's the stuff that's been sitting around, it's just taking up space. It's got to go. Try different things. I'm at a yard sale. I can look shit up. I don't need somebody to tell me to buy a damn Squishmallow. I'm capable of looking up a Squishmallow, and if you don't know the tags, they got barcodes. That's easy to look up. you know, you don't have to tell me to look up Guitar Hero. I'll look it up. So I don't need as much entertainment. Although there are people I like watching. You know, people have got great. You know, Commonwealth picker Kevin. I like watching Kevin's stuff because Kevin's generally a nice guy. I've met him in person. But he's also a teacher, and so he's a little bit of both. And so maybe you pick people that do both.
I mean, if you get inspiration for somebody who's entertaining you, go for it. Listen to them. You don't have to take everything they say as gospel, but you can glean stuff from anybody. But make sure you're gleaning the right stuff. That's all.
So
I mean, we've all made that mistake and listened to somebody who, wasn't the right idea. But
gone are the days of not being able to promote on eBay. I look at the items I've sold, and 90% of them sold promoted. I'm telling you right now, you've got to understand how people are. People, if you're on the third page of search, nobody's finding your ass. Promise you. Yeah, Josie, Squishmallows never sell. I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know why. I don't know why I paid $1 for that one.
I may have bought a few in my career
here. When you're going to sales, I'm seeing the same thing over and over. And right now I've been seeing Beanie Babies. And I mean, not 5 Beanie Babies, but 500 at these estate sales. And the last one I went to them for $5. $5 for one Beanie Baby. I don't think they sold any.
We're finally getting into that era where a lot of the people who saved those beanies for their retirement funds are dying. And so that's why you're seeing them at estate sales now. And these estate sale companies either they don't have a clue, or they just price high on the first couple of days just because people.
And $5 for hardbacks at all the estate sales. I'm like, not just they pick out the old leather bound whatevers, but $5 for some common
Webster's dictionary.
Well, just some one mass-produced mystery book or whatever.
All right, Steve, are you ready for you and Marcia?
Yep, you better put it on the big screen.
Marcia. All right, big screen. I forgot how to do that.
Wait, maybe I should not have said that. Maybe I regret it, but we'll see.
Shit, I put us all on the big screen. Damn it. I'm good at this. Solo layout.
There you go.
Y'all could be.
Oh yeah. I saw that.
The here and after. Steve and Marcia, Tombstone. There you go.
But wouldn't we have to both die at the same time?
No, you can just add. You just add them.
They need to make one like that for IKEA.
I'm not sure that she would be as on board with that as I would, and I'm not sure I want people seeing my photo on the gravestone. But we'll see. Maybe.
Yeah, so
we were going to make a dresser like that, but we never did get a chance.
So Johnny sent me that. I immediately thought of you. So I thought of you this week. I'm like, oh, damn, that's Steve right there.
That is me. I saw that too, and I was like, yeah, it's something else.
The one thing I had thought about is developing rules for your business: minimum sales amount, minimum profit, and then exceptions. There are some things. Like I told you, if it's a $20 item, I don't really want it unless it goes to Amazon in a box and there's no work on it. And then even on Amazon, I don't want to be getting off price stickers. I don't want to have no cleaning or any of that kind of stuff.
Bagging it.
Correct. It's just a simple throw it in a box and send it to Amazon. Because if I want Amazon to become the redheaded stepchild, but I still want to take advantage of media and other things that are easy to, and new sealed toys and stuff that I come across, not necessarily hunt. Like I've got a box right there that I've been working on for a week. When I fill the box up, I'll send the box in, and that's the way I'm gonna treat Amazon and continue with eBay. Remember, never take the fun out of it. Do what you enjoy. I think a lot of the burnout came from chasing a lot of stuff that there was no joy in. Was it Mudville?
Mm-hmm.
Well, once you get to that point, all reselling seems to be a pain in the ass, And,
correct, and it doesn't matter.
And you end up like me. where you're part-time because you just didn't want to, you just can't focus on it anymore. It's just so,
Don't be Steve.
Do this again.
Yeah. Don't be Steve.
And, well, actually, we make okay money doing what we're doing now, but we could be making more. And if we want to go back to
you can use other social media platforms that take a lot less time. Follow some people, make a separate Instagram account and just follow people that show you what they find. The Crazy Card. Hey, welcome, buddy. Mike, he's one of the few people I look at and go, I would have never looked that shit up. He finds the coolest stuff and gets stupid money for it.
Yeah, I see his stuff on Instagram. It's crazy.
Mike is, like I tell him, he's one of the better pickers I know, because the stuff that he looks at, I would have never looked at, but he did. Unfortunately, he said he did lose. The family fortune was lost in the Beanie Baby crash in '99. So there's that.
We lost it in the baseball card era. Junk wax.
Beer King wants to know, are we everything sellers? No, I don't sell any women's panties.
Mark, I've been selling off and on since '98. When is eBay invented? Since the beginning. I was on Yahoo auctions before that.
No matter that case up there says a whole case of 3X, you can't believe that.
Well, I got a question for you, Scott. I sent in a shipment to Amazon FBA. It had 7 bicycle saddles in it.
And let me guess, they only received 6.
They've got 5 logged in and 2 not logged in yet.
Are they moving, or do they show up on as in transit or anywhere? Or
no, the box has been received, and it's showing 5. It's showing 2 different saddles already in, and then showing nothing for the other 2, and they were all inside the same box.
That is normal. That you have fallen victim to one of Amazon's $25 receiving employees, who is either now putting that on their bicycle or selling that to someone else, because they will tell you that you need to turn in receipts to prove that it was in the box. And they used to reimburse for that, but they don't anymore because they can't control their own employees. One of the joys, I sent in a box of books and DVDs the other day. They are still receiving. I sent it out July 27th. It is still receiving. They've missed 4 out of it. It's a box of books. But 4 of the books are just gone.
These are $56.
I would just keep checking them because they may show up.
Well, they said that the delivery is not till the 17th, so I still have another day. But I was just curious about that.
Usually that stuff eventually shows up, but
Mimi Mike is the Crazy Card everywhere. So on Instagram, he is the Crazy Card. Because obviously, if you're crazy on one area, you have to be crazy at other places.
What I've learned about Amazon is this is not, if you need to make some money quick, it's not the way to do it, because it's taken almost 20 days for this stuff to get logged in.
Yeah, so and that's another thing. People don't talk about it. If you've got a new account on Amazon, Amazon is going to hold in reserve part of your. So let's say you do an FBA. I'll do the timeline for you because I've done it too many times. So if I have an item that I send it in the warehouse, you go, man, it got to the warehouse. My book sat on the receiving deck in Charlotte, North Carolina, for 17 days before they finally received it. Now they are receiving it, and they're still missing 2 or 3. So they're still technically receiving this box that I'm never going to see those 3 or 4 books, whatever I'm missing. So now Amazon is going to say, now that it's taken 3 weeks for your item to go from your house to into our systems, we're going to move it around. So you got another 10 days at minimum that it's going to move around to other warehouses throughout the country. You see, if you watch any of the videos I watch about car crashes, Amazon Prime drivers are just destroying. They are wreaking havoc on this country because they can't drive worth a damn. And so once it gets there, it comes out of back order. And so it could sell at any point of that time, but until it comes out of back order, they're not going to ship it. And now you have to wait for Amazon to ship it. And so you go, well, they shipped it. The money went in my account. Oh, but wait a minute. They put so much of it in reserve because to cover any future returns is what they tell you. Even though you could have $1,000 sitting there, so then your payout comes and you get part of your money. 2 more weeks later, you get a part. We're over 2 months for you to get cash out of that. If you list it on eBay and take 10-20% less and put daily payouts, you'll have your money much faster.
Yep.
Well, I live right now. I could get in my car and in 15 minutes be at the Amazon warehouses out by the airport. Because we've got like
you can't just take it there.
No, you can't.
But
I understand why. I mean, they don't want a bunch of yahoos showing up every day.
It would look like Chick-fil-A at lunchtime.
So David Jarvis says, I send in multi-box shipments. One will be empty every time. So I stopped. I only send them 1 box at a time. I get finished with 1 box. That's all I send, because the nightmares. Go read forums and all over the internet of people they receiving 0 boxes, and then they want you to prove what was in the box. I'm like, you took possession of it, you bunch of crackheads. Amazon, eBay to a certain extent. People complain, oh, eBay only sides with the buyer. Amazon never sides with a seller. Rare. And if you think they care anything about you, you get tired of dealing with that oppressive, that mentality, everything. You just want to go kick Jeff Bezos and the nuts and tell him, listen, you took taxpayer money to build all these fucking warehouses and promised to make a system of e-commerce that was going to allow other people to use them, and took all this for Amazon, and now all your billions of dollars, and now you're one of the ones who sits around in judgment of the rest of the world. Who the hell do you think you are without the American taxpayer, you cocksucker? Sorry about that.
Tell us what you really think.
Bezos don't give a. He'd rather be flying into space. He don't care.
This show is going to get demonetized.
Scott will never be on the YouTube convention circuit.
Yeah, all the circus. They're going. Evidently, I'm controversial because I'll tell you the truth. I'll tell you what I think. Everybody else will sit back and go.
Well, at the other extreme with Amazon. So I was working for my son for a while, and he would send in pallets, and we would send in 4,000 pounds, and I don't know, 1,000 would, there'd be three. There was one that was 3,000 items missing, and so I talked with. I talked to Amazon, and they told me I needed to get the signed bill of lading to show the pounds. And then I talked to the trucking company. And when you're doing pallets, Amazon chooses the trucking company that comes and does your pickup. And it's supposed to be scheduled, and they're never on time, and blah, 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 blah. And so I talked to the trucking company, and they say, well, Amazon no longer, it was during COVID, Amazon no longer lets us get out of our truck, so they won't sign our bill of lading. So their own rule, they're telling me I need a signed bill of lading, but their own rule is they won't sign for the truck drivers right now. So this went back and forth. The funny thing is we finally gave up, and about 6 months later, all of a sudden we realized some of those items were selling. So they did show up somehow. But what Joey ended up doing was starting to hold back the pallets and ship by the truckload. So he gets his own 18-wheeler, and that is actually set up with an appointment time for Amazon. So they literally can go in front of that line of 2 days worth of trucks sitting there and pull right up and drop off at their appointed time. And I realize, obviously, most people can't do that. But I mean, you're talking about sending in 1 box. Well, he went from pallets to waiting and sending in a whole truck. And it's been so much better since then.
The thing I'll tell you,
is he doing private labeling?
No, he might have 1 or 2 products private label, but no.
So so those of us who specialize and sell a lot of discontinued items, here's the wonderful thing. You will send stuff into Amazon, and Amazon will tell you, you got a 0 box, or you're missing like 8 or 10 items, and then 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks later, Amazon comes on the listing. Never sold this stuff, and all of a sudden, it's like it is an org. Folks, if you really dig into Amazon, they are so close to organized theft. You have a customer accuse you of counterfeit, and Amazon will suspend your account and hold your money because somebody they don't have no relationship with. You've been selling on there for 10 years and had no problems, and you get one person go, this was counterfeit, wanting a free return or wanting a free item, and Amazon will suspend you and keep your money. Look, I mean, I'm not making this stuff up, and force you into arbitration to get your money because you can't sue them. It's very hard to sue them. And then do you have the deep pockets to go after them? Go look at what they did to their own employees. There's a story out of Washington where they use the FBI to go in and take all the money from one of their former lawyers, all this stuff. And now that the case is dismissed for no evidence, Amazon has ruined these people's lives. You can find them all over TikTok and stuff. They're not hard to find. It's you're battling. Be careful what you wish for with Amazon.
So another thing that happened was he was selling a certain item that all of a sudden, when they started putting those new like hologram stickers on things,
right?
And so, but some of the older colors or some of the older ones that he sold didn't have that. So somebody wrote in and said, "Oh, this one's a counterfeit." Okay. And so he had sold 311 of that color. So I had to go through receipts and find 311 because that wasn't a wholesale product that he sold. Now I can't get my file is too big, send back into Amazon. So I called the customer service and the guy goes, "Well, you don't have to send them the receipt for all of them." Yes, you do. That's the rule. It's like...
I had a similar problem when I had a product that switched from not having transparency codes to having transparency.
That's what it is, that transparency.
Yeah. And I had to recall them all because I couldn't sell them.
Well, you see all these nightmares about people selling shoes, the Nikes and Reeboks, and
be careful what you wish for. That's one of the more counterfeit items out there. Can you tell if it's counterfeit or not? I wouldn't sell Nike on Amazon for nothing.
That's what, but it's like I said, there was this one couple you knew who I was talking about that sold like $500,000 worth of shoes last year. I was just like, man, you just see one YouTube video after another where people are getting slammed because somebody's saying they're fake. I mean, that's really putting and that's all they sell, or apparently is all they sell. That's really putting all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah, remember the difference, and folks, you got to understand this. On eBay is supposed to be the middleman. That's the position they take. They're facilitating a transaction between you and your customer. Understand that is your customer, not eBay's. That's why you can put stuff in the boxes. You got more freedom to interact and handle problems. eBay doesn't want to step in, but they will if they have to. That's the way it is. On Amazon, the great Amazon is allowing you, the little peon of the world, no matter how big a seller or they treat large sellers the same way. They are allowing you to sell to one of their customers. And that's why if a customer says something, "Oh, this is a counterfeit," you mean nothing to them. This could be a brand new customer with a brand new account, and it is like it came down from God to Moses to brand new customer. And that's how they treat it. For the 10 Commandments of Amazon. So, and so you've got to understand where your pecking order is in that. And there's lots of positive Amazon, stuff sells fast, 90% of the customers are just good folks. You've got that 10% who've learned they beat the Amazon system. One of my returns that came in yesterday, the 30-day returns, she returned this item, and she filed for the return at 8 p.m. on the 30th day. 8 p.m. on the 30th day. And then she took 27 days farther to get it here. You have to have shipped it in 30. It has to be in 30 days. So you tell me that person and it's I guess she's the double coming of the Messiah because she worked at our sacred lady. She worked at the shipment went to our sacred lady of something. So no, this is a church person who has said, you know what, look at that damn sinner down there in Alabama. I'm gonna kick him in the balls a couple times just because. There you go.
Scott, when you look at your whole Amazon career, what percentage of all the millions of things you've sold do you think has been a problem?
Very few, and it's not, vast majority of it has not been the item; it's been the customer.
I'd say
it's either been Amazon or the customer. You know, I do make mistakes, and I've made mistakes on a couple items, but it's been very rare. It's my fault. It's been somebody else's. You know, Amazon. Did y'all miss? Okay, so go look at the next thing you buy from Amazon, and that one air pillow that is protecting everything because that's how they ship your items with one air pillow. Amazon announced this past week that in an effort to reduce their environmental impact, they're going to use even less packing materials. I'm like, so y'all just going to put it in an empty box?
Y'all probably ship it with a label right on it.
Yeah, just throw a label on it and send it out because y'all are.
They do that.
Yeah, we've gotten packages here that was an item that was, just a label shipped on the.
And I've done it. We did all those printers that one year. I just labeled the box, but it's a good sturdy box. And
that's packaged to ship.
Yeah, so our printer has got foam in it. It's packaged to ship. It's got styrofoam in it. It's packaged to ship. But some of these other boxes that
it's I boxed up the first few, but
that's the Amazon equivalent of throwing that in a pizza box and sending it right on out. And hoping
we sent 50. I want to say it was 57 printers one day. I had to take them straight to the UPS place. How do you box 57? You can't. So that's why we decided because I was boxing them at the beginning.
I never boxed printers when I shipped them.
I remember sending a message to Scott, do we box these damn things? And I can't remember what he said, but I decided not to because there was just so many.
Monday morning, we were in the post office in Marion, North Carolina. And if anybody's wanting to get a passport,
I've been to Marion.
You live close to Marion or within a couple of hours or whatever, they apparently have plenty of spaces for appointments. Anyway, we were standing in line waiting for our appointment because Charlotte was like January before we could get into it. But anyway, there was a lady, and I saw one package that had eBay tape on it. But she I don't know what the hell she was shipping, but the juice boxes or the juice bags that you get, and then all the little silver juice bags are in a box. Well, that's what the box looked like they were wrapped in. But it looked sort of like maybe it was like a apparel of some sort, just by the shape of the packaging. But it was a juicy juice box. So
back in the 90s, I did things like that in the early 2000s, maybe when you were when I was just a little brand new seller. And I really quickly realized that was stupid.
Folks, I can fix all this. I'm going to announce my running for Congress. I can fix all this. I'll introduce legislation that, there's no more money in it. You can't, there's no more lobbying. You lobbying lawyers and all these people, you just got fired. And the next thing you do is, the minute the budget becomes unbalanced, you're no longer eligible for re-election.
Thank you, Tamara. Capri Suns.
There you go, right there. I was solved if you take the money out of politics and you hold them accountable to the taxpayer. I didn't even go a step farther. Any legislator that introduces a spending bill, for extra taxes like Josh has mentioned, the taxes on recycling and that kind of stuff that California and Canada are proposing, you have to stand up in front of the Congress and one there's to be like the big bailiff walks up with a stun gun and shoots you in the nads. For every time you want to introduce a new tax, you got to get tasered in the sack. or ladies, we'll pick a spot for you, but to be just as bad. You know, they don't understand. Look at the amount of money you pay on taxes now, folks. Think about how a dollar is taxed. You know, but Beard, I'm only in the 38% tax bracket. Yeah, so you're only paying 60 to 70% of all the money you have in tax. How much is enough?
But that's not all of it though. It's tax when you go to the grocery store, and it's tax when you
it's about 60 to
have
70%.
your iPhone bill, and it's tax on everything. If people don't add up, there's 9 million taxes you pay.
Yeah.
Inflation is the biggest tax in the world.
We
just print off money.
We do our grocery shopping over. I'm not sure if Ohio's that way. But, you know, in PA, there's no tax on groceries. So,
and Scott's president sending all the folks in Hawaii $700,
unless it's hot foods.
You don't want to get me on that topic. You look into Oprah Winfrey and how properties have burned around her, and she's lost nothing, and in several areas. And the next thing she does is buy up everything around her. Just look into that. You know, look
after the fire, she bought it.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know,
what was the reasoning for her to buy that? That's what go ahead.
She was burned.
She wanted the land, and so what difference does it make if the stuff on top of it burned?
Yeah.
She's one of the larger landholders in Hawaii on the island.
So did we just solve the issue? She just burnt everything down so she could buy it all. Oprah out there with a match.
The governor, Mark. I mean, just go look at this stuff up. They 9-10 months ago, they talked about wanting to have the first digital city and all this stuff, digital island or whatever it was. And imagine that everybody who was against it in Hawaii, that all their shit burned. Look how many. That island has all these huge plantations and big houses and celebrity houses. You know how many of theirs burned? Same amount as your burned. None.
But you know, I can appreciate the thought of sending the money to these people that have lost everything.
What's $700?
But like $700 in Hawaii ain't going to pay for squat.
That's like pissing in a fan.
Eggs are like $12 a carton or $14 a carton there.
Yeah,
it's crazy high. Yeah, their inflation is huge there.
Yeah, there's Josie. A handful of billionaires won that land, and the natives are fighting to keep the heritage land. The billionaires' land didn't burn, and the heritage land burned. Folks, you know, when's enough? You know, that's what I said with Amazon. Amazon, you win. I'm going to step back. I'm going to go back to selling on eBay. You win. I'm tired of competing against old Uncle Scrooge. I'll just go back. Is there problems on eBay? Absolutely. You know, they've had issues. You know, their platform, every time they make a change.
But you know, back to when we were talking about Amazon and the customers, I say most, but I know at least many people don't realize they're buying from a third-party seller. They think they're buying from some big corporation, and they don't care about screwing some big corporation.
I get that even with the delivery driver stuff. They don't. No, they know that I'm a delivery driver, but they don't know that when they make a complaint, it directly affects me.
Mr. Sadie, they
think it's a Walmart thing.
Look into the insurance companies, and they're trying to get out of paying Act the God and all that kind of stuff. The insurance companies are trying not to pay for any of that. All their insured, you're out of luck.
Well, California, the insurance carriers are vacating Florida. I mean, what are you people that live in Florida? What are y'all going to do about auto insurance?
That's a myth. I've seen somebody. It's a small percentage of insurers that are leaving. It's not.
Is it really?
Yeah. That was somebody trying to smear DeSantis.
I mean, a long time ago, after the big hurricanes, I remember one. I don't know if it was State Farm or not. They just lost some money that they pulled out of Florida. So.
But that's what I tell you. So what are you going to do? Are you going to quit? Are you going to continue? Or are you willing to try different things, sell different items, different rules, adapt? Because the one thing I tell you is all these things and all these pressures from the outside. This is, we talk a lot about the issues here because people want to know a place to come and listen to solutions and problems and what other people are going through. But it's no different in any other business. They have the same struggles and problems. It's just most of us have first time business owners. A lot of people who are resellers don't realize they're business owners. They're just sell. When they're going to realize they're a business owner?
When it's too late.
Next March, when the tax bill for 30% of their sales comes in, they're going to go, holy shit! I guess I had a business. That's when they're going to figure it out. Usually, the first year of selling on tax time is when they figure out. I did what?
A lot of us don't realize it even then. You're not running a business the appropriate way. Even when
that's the people that didn't track their mileage or save receipts or track anything.
The people talking about I can write down mileage. I'm like, dude, it's like $4.80 a year for. I use Everland. You can use Mile Like You to the same cost. But I only drive one car. And we've got 4 cars. I'll drive. If I was limited to trying to only get the mileage out on one car. You're missing 62 cents a mile, or whatever the hell it is now. That how long do you take to add up the $5 in savings? Oh, I saved that $5. Congratulations, you lost $27.5. Good job.
Do you get any, like in California where gas is like $5 a gallon now? Do you get a different rate for mileage?
Not federal.
Do they have anything for this, on the state taxes for that?
California giving you a
tax break? Yeah. No.
Good point, Sue.
Let's say whatever. Yesterday,
ask John if California gives tax breaks.
Yeah, I really, James, my born and reseller life yesterday, a really good conversation with himself, of course, about niches. And if you've really thought about, maybe the answer for me is I need to niche down and really, the dangers of that, people, you like to point at success stories. I can point at, cameras, with crazy picker life, but how many truly niched out sellers do you really? And what is a niche? You spent some time talking about that as well. So I'm a clothing seller. That's not a niche. And I agree with him 100%. That's not a niche. Are you a men's clothing seller? Are you a women's clothing? They're completely different. Just saying I'm a clothing seller.
Now, if you're a women's panties seller.
I was about to say, if you have 6,000 pairs of ladies 3X panties, you're a niche seller.
You almost killed Todd.
That's niche down right to the crotch right there.
Sorry, Todd.
You could, I could tell you, I sell a lot of electronics. Electronics is a category. It's not a niche. The cameras and electronics, or stereo equipment, or it's going to go smaller. From what people overuse that term a lot, but you make your life easier and harder at the same time. You know a lot more, but it's harder to find the items, and it's if the market changes at all, you get hit harder.
So longtime listeners of the show might recognize this guy. This is the cat that was left when Marcia's car was stolen.
They stole her car and left a cat.
Yeah, they traded the cat.
A long story. Long story. We got the car back.
And you got to keep the cat.
We have a solid black one like that too.
This cat does not like being. This cat does not like being in the house, and I don't know why he's on my lap because he almost never sits on me.
Yeah,
I wanted to make an appearance.
Yeah, Josh. A lot of people can't understand. It's always the seller's fault. It's never. You would listen to the show and think, I'm predicting doom in another world. There's always going to be online reselling, if we don't talk about the things and propose solutions. And so that's why, even though I put everything is broken, what can you do? I wanted to at least be able to have some conversation about things that, okay, so promoted listings are broken, but dynamic seems to be working better, so I would suggest that you try dynamic. Selling fees are going up. Selling fees always go up, whether it's promoted listings are going up or the fees are actually increased. And so what do you do about it? You reevaluate, understand your numbers, and you sell more expensive items. The one thing I would tell you too is I don't think free shipping gets the same bump that it used to. I could be wrong, but I have gone away from free shipping. Why did you go away from free shipping? Because returns are out of control right now. Look at everybody in the chat. Is there anybody who's not getting more returns? I would be surely. Well, Steve, you're not selling anything. Shut up.
Well, I am selling some things.
Returns are up across the board. It's. I had someone return a 4-pack of women's panties because they said that 2 of the 4 were a different size than the other ones.
Same exact. They're all the same in the package, right?
That means they tried them all on.
Didn't like the color. One lady on eBay swears that the styles that has changed, even though the numbers and everything are the same, because the seam doesn't hit her in the same spot anymore. I'm like, maybe your ass is bigger. You're already ordering 3X, woman. Come on.
I used to do customer service for Blair, the company Blair, and same kind of complaints. Customer service is, I would never do it again. But customers haven't changed. They're just.
I've gone away from free shipping just because if you send it back, I'm keeping the shipping because, unless I've made a mistake, there'll be something that doesn't work or whatever, or gets broken or whatever. I'll give them a full return. I'm all right. I'm not saying. The one thing I would tell you in all this is you can't become like the rest of society. Run your business where you can sleep at night. Run your business ethically. Do the right thing. If you have an item that's been we make mistakes. If it's been misrepresented and gets there. Great example. I saw a camera last night, and Jacob listed it, and he did not check the batteries and the flash of it. And I got an offer on it, and I'm like, man, I tried to make the flash work. So I sent him a message saying, hey, I can't guarantee the flash works. I can't get it to work right this second. If you still want it, here's the offer. And they offered 75. And I looked up what the camera was worth by itself in the 50 range. And so I offered it $50 and they took it. But, so I was honest with the customer saying, hey, and so I don't want to be part of the problem. I want to be part of the solution. I want to be the one thing I tell you, if we sync to this, it's not everybody. 95% of your customers are wonderful people. They're just trying to get through this crazy world like the rest of us. But we focus on the idiots. And so the worst thing that we can do, I think, as humans and resellers and everything is treat everyone else like they're the 5%. I don't try like that 5%. So you can't. So do what's right.
I have to go. My mechanic's coming to bring March's car back. They didn't have the parts last week, so I got to get out of here. So
we don't
I might
want to
be
talk
back.
anyway.
Yeah, I didn't want to talk anyway. Bye.
Well, Walmart created this returns thing because I just never would think about return. If I went to the store and I bought something and I got it home and it was not what I was wanting, for whatever reason, unless it was something defective with the item, I just put it on the shelf or whatnot. But, everybody's used to walking into Walmart. And so if you want to see something, go into a Walmart when they first open on Monday mornings and go up to the customer service area. They will have 20 or 30 buggies up there full of little piddly $2 things that people have brought back. But now even they're they've tightened up on their return policy. It used to be if it's scanned in your If it's scanned in the system, then they returned it.
Now,
Whether you had a receipt or not, if you don't have now, if you have a receipt, you don't have a receipt, then you have to have your ID, and
because they limit you to like $50 a year, I think, or
Yeah.
something to that effect. They track it now. They didn't used to. I mean, you could take anything. If Costco's that way. If you bought it at all, they'll look it up and go, we'll give you. They'll do something for you. But you know, those companies are. I think Costco's about the only one that does that now.
But you know, when I was doing merchandising, I was logging in, and there was just one girl behind the counter, and she kind of did like this at me to wait. So I was standing there, and this guy was trying to return this one item, and it did not scan in their system. She hit the history. They had never sold this item, and he was so sure that he bought it there. And so she called the store manager. And as I was walking away, he said, "Oh, that's a Target product." And the man said, "Really?" And he said, "Yeah, that came from Target." And he said, "Oh, I'm so sorry." Now he had been up there screaming at this customer service person because he knew he bought it from Walmart, but it actually came from Target. So, you know,
And I think as a society, you know, you got to be. If we treat it, we've lost the golden rule. You know, if you treat others like you want to be treated, and a lot of us, these computers, you know, there's such an anonymity, and you know, everybody is at some point or another some kind of keyboard warrior. At some point, there's not enough people that have been held responsible for the stuff they've said, because you say it behind a keyboard, knowing that, you know, I can talk about Tom's hair all I want to. I live 600 miles away. I can do whatever I want. You know, and
because that's what'll get you banned today.
But so in business, I have to be able to sleep at night, and you know, I try, even though I rant and rave, I try to do things better. I try to, you know, I'm not going to tell you to do things by the wrong way. If I've ever told you to do something wrong, I apologize. You should absolutely do your best. I like black and white. I don't like gray areas. I like rules. But the problem is as a society, rules don't matter for everybody, and rules are not held accountable to everybody. You know, insert tremendous Trump rant right now, and we'll just leave it at that.
Well,
I feel like we've always touted follow the rules.
Yeah,
But you know, I think companies have made it so easy. It's like Roberta has ordered stuff from Amazon, and we've gotten a package, and the item in the package has nothing to do with, like, this thing right here. She ordered something, and this is at the time was $125 ladies' facial hair remover system. She called them up and she said, you said the wrong item. You want to give me a shipping list or a shipping label, and I'll send it back. Oh, no, don't worry about it. And that's happened several times. So I think people are getting the mindset that they can just do whatever they want to.
Well, I think it goes back to that mindset of it's a corporation I'm screwing, not everyday people.
And that's why I think I don't get as many returns on eBay, because you can make it more personal. You know, started using this. I ordered them on what's that irritating Temu. You know, thanks for supporting this small business. You know, letting people realize they're not. But Josh, you're 100% correct. No matter all the negatives and everything, the opportunity is still great to be a reseller, and you know, with some smarts and really, you know, hard work, 7 figures can be done. It's you can support families, you can meet all your financial goals, you can take your life back and be free. And so the positives outweigh the negatives 100 times over, but the negatives, you know, the negatives are what gets clicks on the video. The negatives are what everybody wants to talk about. They don't want to talk about. They don't want to talk about yesterday. I took the advice that I've been listening to between you and James and some others, and go, you know what? I'm gonna try dynamic. I shut down all my promoted listings. I had the same slow weekend you did, where my sales had dropped, and I put dynamic on plus 0.5%. And my goal is for the eBay side is I'm reaching my 200s now. I pushed to 300 today, and I sold 5 something yesterday. Just from ending my trying something different. So that's why the opportunity is great. If you want to work at this is work. I'm gonna spend time rearranging my store and setting it up so that I can run better sales and make, you want to sell items, make it enticing to customers. I'd never sent offers before, and I started doing that stuff because I didn't care about eBay as much. Are you using all the systems? Are you to your advantage? I think, and if I would, this community that we have is, the wonderful reselling community that's online, whether it's TikTok or YouTube or wherever. I don't think enough people spend enough time talking about the opportunity that we have, and really how good the complaints are so great, and that's why I try not to talk about returns as much. I honestly just don't care about returns that much. Those the 2-sided underwear that came in, I looked it up to look at the reason, just so I had something to tell this group. Other than that, I just threw them in a trash can and moved on. It's not that. And no, I didn't sniff them to make sure that
I was just thinking that.
She said they were different. She said they were different sizes. I don't want to know how she knew they were different sizes, so I'll throw them away. And I did make one video where I said it was a return, and I actually like I was sniffing it. I've got 6,000 pairs, folks. That was a new pair. You only see in a video what somebody allows you.
That's like when you ate the chicken sandwich out of the dumpster.
Yeah, that was Shane's. Shane's like, eat it out of the trash can. I'm like, I was on the phone when I was videoing that. Or I had 2 phones at the time, and I was talking to Shane on one phone, and he was like, and I sent him the video, and I think I shot it like 2 or 3 times until it was like. But yeah, that was a chicken sandwich that I had just picked up that I had carefully had the wrapper underneath of it, and yeah. It looked like it came out of the trash can, but yeah, it was just the chicken sandwich I picked up at the McDonald's down the street.
Yeah, Lag is definitely appreciative of eBay and Amazon, the opportunity, because that way it allows him to live in his mother's basement, and he never has to go out. Everything's shipped in, everything ships out.
But everybody's got a bad story, and I don't think we focus enough on the fact of the positive. I've been self-employed since 2013 doing this. Look at the wonderful people I've met on the internet. Good friends here in town that I would not know at all if it wasn't for reselling. And my life has been enriched by being able to work for myself and being able to create this opportunity. I'll never be able to express my feelings about reselling, allowing me to go to every one of Johnny's doctor appointments with cancer.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell you. There's no way to express in words what that means. To be able to be there for your best friend in life and your partner in life whenever they need you the most. And I had a video that you guys watched that helped me through that. And if I was still running restaurants, you think they care?
Yeah.
They care that I was there 50 hours a week minimum. That's what they care about. They didn't care. So the positives definitely outweigh the negatives. And you don't lose when you're working. You're going to work more than you've ever worked, but don't lose sight of the fact that it's worth it. No matter eBay is struggling. Keep trying things different. Keep adjusting. The platform's going to change. Look at all the people that quit because they didn't want to take PayPal. They still want to cash in an envelope mailed to them, or a check, or a money order, or all that crazy shit. I can't imagine what we used to go through about how to get our money whenever you guys are upset if you can't get daily payouts. And having to send cash in an envelope.
Yeah.
Hey, we do have a Wendy's down the street, right near that Walgreens, right next to it. That it's start working today, get paid tomorrow. That's how desperate they are for employees.
Yeah, there's a lot of places in town, a lot of fast food joints that are paying same day, which would probably, be the next morning time. But yeah, they're advertising, get work today, get paid today. Now that's got to be some bookkeeping hell right there. I mean,
Yeah.
Scott,
how many of those people come back?
Yeah, those restaurants have changed since I left. They're not the same. It was hard to find employees back then. I can't imagine finding employees today and all the requirements. And can you imagine if I had to call people by pronouns? Holy shit.
But my mom, I went and saw my mom on Saturday and for a little while, and she was talking about she had to go Monday and get her a debit card because some of the places that she shops at doesn't take checks anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, Mom, debit cards have been out for 30 years. But she was going to go get a debit card. How many people? I mean, there's probably still a lot of people out there that don't use debit cards.
And so to help you with the positive attitude and to help you deal with these kind of things, look at the 5 people that you're around or spend the most time with. In today's age, they don't even have to be here locally. What kind of influence, are you around someone that constantly focuses you on the negative? Because if you are focused on the negative in this business, you're going to see the negative. You're going to treat people negatively. Your life is. It happened to me in restaurants. I was so miserable. I mean, I've told the story over and over. My mom's like, "Can I tell you something?" I'm like, what? She goes, "I'm like, you've known me since I was born. What do you want to say? You have free reign for my entire life." For the past couple of years, I didn't know who that was across the street. You've been the world's biggest asshole. I'm glad my son's back. That's after I'd been reselling for 3 or 4 months. You don't realize when you are negative and you're in a position that you don't enjoy, it changes you, folks. No matter how strong of a person you think you are, it changes you. People notice. Sue has not written a check since the Boy Scouts.
Since my kids were like in school or in Boy Scouts, that's the only time I wrote checks back then. I haven't written checks in a long time.
Aren't your kids older than me?
Pays everything online.
What did you say, Scott?
Aren't your kids older than me? That's a long time.
Your kids aren't older than me. My kids aren't older than you. My oldest is 38.
I just had an old man moment. I was getting ready to say something and it just went zipping out the wind.
Hey, I just sold a female tool.
Okay.
You know why there was a female tool? Because somebody bought a wood stud finder. There you go, right there.
Yeah.
But that's the kind of stuff that I'm talking about right there. It's I picked that up. It's a Black & Decker stud finder. I picked it up for a couple dollars at a yard sale, still new sealed. And that's, it's going merchant fulfilled, but that's the kind of stuff on Amazon. It's just the easy stuff,
Howard, what are you going to do when them, or does your yard sale season never end in Alabama?
It'll end late October, but there'll be some stragglers. The mistake that I made the last few years is not going to the stragglers, so we'll do that. Focus more on estate sales, and I'm actually going to start doing some thrifting where, thrift in Nashville, thrift in Birmingham, and all the country between here and both. Just the stuff that I've talked about, it's easy because the stuff that I've always done with Amazon, you can do a lot of it on eBay. I've talked about over and over to draw a 3-hour circle around your house and own that area. It just means that I need to understand where all the thrift stores are in that area and visit them enough to know where the, all the thrift stores have gotten expensive. Hey, go to Walmart. Go to Walmart and buy a box fan. Go find a box fan for under $25 new. I mean, everywhere is expensive. So it's about your knowledge. And so, I'll do some of this. You just, okay, you go south. You can go south. Yard sales in Tampa, their season's opposite. They're hot as hell now, but in the winter, they carry on, because they're in, oh my God, it's cold in Tampa. It's 70 something.
Well, I mean, I go to estate sales. In the summer, it's too hot to go to garage sales. In the winter, it's
especially
too
when
cold.
you're a week
Well,
early.
we don't really have them in the winter. But the thing is, I have not done well at the garage sales here. I just don't find stuff. I don't know if I'm not going to the right part of town or our garage sales just aren't good here. I don't know, but I don't go to any Goodwills, but there's a handful of thrift stores that I go to. I went to one recently. I got a Cadoodle game. It's one of the real old ones for $2 that I sold for $60. And I got an $8 sprinkler system timer that I sold for $50. I got a third thing, but I don't think I sold that. I don't remember what. The other thing, it was a tater tot cutter thing, but I haven't listed it yet, so that's why it hasn't sold, I guess.
Have you ever been to a yard sale over in Buckhead? Do they have them in Buckhead?
Oh yeah, but they're $100 for a knife. I mean, I haven't been quite to Buckhead, but near Buckhead, Sandy Springs and Dunwoody.
Yeah, Buckhead is where that's the old money of Atlanta. That's
Dunwoody is more than Buckhead. Yeah.
Pardon me.
Dunwoody's
real
old money.
Buckhead is where the governor lives. That kind of stuff.
Mom, that's my challenge to you is whenever you ask me a question about what I'm doing right now, and you've got to have a plan. You've got to see the opportunity. You've got to understand that there's a way to get it done. If I sit back and go, well, damn, my yard sales are going in, I don't have any idea what I'm going to do. I'm just not going to have any sales. I'm going to pray I can make it till they start to come back. That kind of, you can't be in that mental space. You've got to be focused on, hey, I've got a plan. I understand. I'm going to, I'm looking for opportunity. Do you see problems? Oh, but Beard, do you really want to drive the 100 miles to Birmingham? You know how many stores are between here and there, at thrift stores and all that kind of, and the little mom and pop thrift stores. There's no telling, but they go out of business so frequently. Well, I'll just find the next one because another one's going to start. Yeah. It's estate sales. Look at these bigger towns. There's no way in hell Sue can go to half the estate sales in Atlanta. I bet you can. We're talking 10%.
But I'm keeping a spreadsheet, and it's what I buy, and it's which estate sale company I went to. And eventually I'm going to try and track which company I buy the most from and don't miss their sales,
Yeah, Nashville has 40 or 50 estate sales. That's 80 miles from here. 40 or 50 estate sales every weekend.
The thing about Atlanta is it could be here, like the one I went to this weekend. I went 3 times because it was open Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And I bought something each day because it went to 75% off on Monday. But, or it could be 65 miles. I went 60 miles to Lake Spivey one weekend. That was that 12,000 square foot.
Yeah, but you have people in your circle that you understand or people that you know. There's Groove Master Resellers is in the chat. Phil, it's good to see you this morning. If I have a question about an estate sale company in Nashville, Phil is a estate sale guru in Nashville. He knows them all up there and most of the companies. I would pick up the phone and go, Phil, is this worth my time? I'm thinking about going to Nashville, and these are the 4 companies. Which one do you think I should do first? He'd give me his honest opinion. That has been his market for a long time. So I understand where people are and what they're good at, and
I mean, it's a learning curve on everything. I did eBay. I mean, I've been on eBay for 19 years. The only reason I know that is because I called the other day and they go, "Thank you for selling on eBay for 19 years." And but obviously I wasn't full time on it pretty much ever. I did a good bit on there when I was on Amazon, and it was mostly like returns from Amazon, blah blah blah. But now I'm in the learning curve of figuring out what's the best estate sale companies, or figuring out what's the best thrift stores. And it might change next month, but just keep working at it. I mean, if it is your business, that's what you need to learn, is where the best places to buy are.
There was a couple from Atlanta that was at FlipCon, and they said normally it takes them 4 hours to come up here, just with the traffic and all that kind of mess. He said that it took them 9 hours to get to Charlotte. I said, "Oh my God, why? The traffic?" He said, "No, because there's a thrift store just about every exit between Atlanta and Charlotte."
Which I actually, I may have to do that one week, and maybe we can go to lunch sometime.
Okay, but he said there's just one one thrift store after another all the way up through there, and they were just stopping. They were taking a business trip, so they felt like they should be doing some business on it. But
I mean, that's the thing. When I used to go to Charlotte, I used to try and go straight there.
Yeah.
Get all my work done, and then if I left early enough, do stops on the way home. But I usually used to stop in Anderson on the way up. But
they were like, y'all have so many Goodwills here, and I said, yeah, and they're adding like 3 between now and the spring. And he says, but you don't have any hard goods. And he said, that's what we sell. We don't sell any. We don't sell clothes. And he says, y'all really don't have any hard goods. And the guy from Goodwill that spoke, he said that they, they're kind of weak on hard goods. But like I said.
And I might drive up to Chattanooga. That's the closest bins Goodwill to me. And I haven't been to one of those in years. But.
There's one, I think, over in Greenville, South Carolina.
South Carolina. Yeah, and I mean, sometimes when I was in Charlotte, if I really spent a good amount of time, when Toys R Us was still open, I would go to Raleigh once in a while, but that was a good stretch from Charlotte. But
yeah, that's a good stretch from.
If you go north, is that Greenville up there?
No, Greenville, South Carolina is on 85.
Oh, okay. What if you go north from Charlotte, there was a town that I used
Greensboro.
Greensboro. I used to go there quite often too.
You'll get some hate mail if you start comparing Greensboro with Greenville.
Sorry, I didn't mean to compare them. I knew they both started with green, but it's been years since I was doing that. So
there is a Greenville, North Carolina, also. But
here's your bolo, 1950 Studebaker.
Oh, cool.
Hood ornament.
Yeah, that's cheap.
Now, if you find you an Etsy person, they could mount that to a piece of the plastic piece of plastic and make a paperweight out of it. Or have you already sold it?
Studebaker people are crazy about restoring Studebakers. That's probably going to somebody who's got a car that needs it.
My dad was a big Studebaker fan.
But so everybody's telling me different things about their area. We don't have estate sale companies that do auctions. Well, then get your ass to an auction. That's what I would tell you. Online auctions, they're good for me to sell at. I can buy a few things at it. But the one thing I can tell you about is the more we go online, the rarer it's going to be easier to pick up stuff in person, because not everybody wants to go. I watched just Taco Stacks the other day for a couple of minutes. He was at an auction, so I was like, I wonder what some of this stuff goes for. There was a full bedroom set from, I don't know, 60s or 70s. They couldn't get a bid at $10. It went for $5. The entire bedroom set went for $5. Oh, Beard, you can't sell that on eBay. Well, then throw that stuff on Marketplace.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually bought a wall hanging thing that 75% off was $5. It's metal and it's these circles and it's kind of pretty. If I had some place in my house to put it, I'd probably keep it. But I'm just going to throw it up on Marketplace for $50 and then go down to $25 or whatever. I only paid $5 for it, And someone's going to come right to my porch. I'm not doing anything with it. So
I bought a bunch of bicycle stuff, and I was talking to some people that at the table while I was at this con, and they said, "Well, how did you find out about it?" I said, "Through HiBid," and they said, "What's that?"
What's HiBid?
Now they had told me just a few minutes. They've been selling for like 10 years on eBay, and I said, "You've never heard of HiBid?" No, and I told them what HiBid was, and they said, "Well, we'll have to check it out." I thought everybody knew about HiBid.
No, one of my best purchases was HiBid. What I pay for that, like that school lot.
Yeah, with the locks.
All the locks. Sign up for them. They will worry the absolute hell out of you.
What, at a HiBid?
Yeah.
I'm not on their email list.
I said I was only going to be on for an hour today, but I went way over. But I'm going to show you I think a kind of a cool find this weekend. I bought this bag it was $2 and it had a whole bunch of knives and stuff in it. And I saw some that said Japan, and then I saw one of these in there too, but I didn't really know what it was because it was such a weird like blade to it. But when I looked it up, it's a Ray Dunn set, like for cheese. And I only saw one for sale on eBay, and it's $125. I haven't seen any sold or anything, but I literally paid $1 or less for these because there was so much in that bag. But it's Ray Dunn by Magenta, so it's before she was popular enough to have her own company. It's the company that she started out with, I guess. So I'm gonna have to do a little more searching on that, but that should be a good profit for $1.
Yep.
Yeah, it's also so this platform here. So I just sold an item that know where you get the best value. So the item I sold yesterday, I had another one. I sold it today. It sells on eBay. It sells for $60. I just got $190 on Amazon. So understand your markets as well. That's another one. That's why you need the multiple platforms. Not only I can buy them on eBay and sell them on Amazon. Imagine that. It's each platform, even though they have difficulties, and I would tell you some are harder than others. But at the end of the day, you can get more sales on Amazon. So for a lot of items, Amazon's worth it, and you got to understand it. Even if they treat you like hell, even if my advice to you on Amazon, and Josh, this is something good for you is follow the rules. Generally, if you follow the rules and stick to the letter, and not go, I wonder if the thought on your mind, I wonder if I can get away with that, or if the condition, I wonder if this might be new. I wonder if this is new. If you think that way, Amazon is going to chew you up and spit you out. If you look at an item and go, Amazon's definition of new is gift giving perfect, and it's got a crease in the box, and you look at it and go, that's like new on Amazon. It says the packaging is not perfect, but it's still unused and still able to be given as a gift. If you can live by the rules and stay in the rules and stay in your lane, that's why I didn't tell you I was walking away from Amazon. I just want to make Amazon less and use it for the things that I'm going to be buying. That was a used item on Amazon for $188. Can you see it right here? It's a printer. I just don't know where I stuck it.
Scott, I got to go. Roberta's got to get on a call. I'll talk to y'all later. Thanks for having me in here this morning.
Peace out.
Bye.
What are the rules? I don't know, Lag. Everything. But you can still get caught up in other things. But it's following the rules. That also helps you sleep better at night. Treating people correctly, but also, even though a lot of people lose Amazon accounts, you never hear the true story of if somebody got suspended or whatever. Remember, you only hear what they allow you to hear. You truly don't know what they've done. you know, and so if you're following the rules, chances are you're pretty safe. You know, the one thing I tell you about selling used items is Amazon customers don't pay attention that they're buying used, especially if there's no new on it. And so I always put in the condition description, first thing on there, used printer, used printer. And then what physical condition is in, you can add pictures to it, which you can't do on a new item because new is new.
Yeah, I always added pictures on a used item, always. Because mine were normally used like new. I mean, it was packaging or it was maybe the box had been opened, but it really was new. But mine were usually not anything also that was something selling, like a 2023 item. It was something older, but it was,
Right.
but yeah, always take the advantage of putting pictures in the listing. It's not hard at all.
Is that another
board
sale?
games still sell.
Board games.
Narvik fight for Norway between Germany and the Allies.
Yeah, I got a brand new National Geographic World game or something, still in the shipping box.
Mm.
But it was worth like $10. But I went ahead and bought it because I thought, I didn't look it up yet, but I'm sure the pieces will be worth something.
Yeah, the one thing I would tell you is if you sell a lot of media, use the descriptions, but make yourself a spreadsheet or a Word document that you just copy paste them in, save yourself some time. You can make a lot of it much easier. Most of the media, like if I'm selling DVDs, and it's like new, I generally just put like new. Most time on like new, and if it's a packaging issue, I just might put boxes rough. I've got a lot of these older Barbies I've picked up because right now with the
with the movie,
with the unpopularity, if Barbie movie has been a flop for the most part. Countries are not allowed to be shown in certain countries. But the one thing I can tell you is it's increased the people wanting Barbies, whether you like the movie. I don't care about the opinion of the movie. How do I take advantage of that? I've got Barbies available for sale, and I've picked up older ones at the auction to sell here on eBay and Amazon because they're not in person and estate sales. Barbies don't command a lot unless they're the crazy rare ones, and new older still Barbies are $30-$40. Most people won't pay $5 for them. I'm like, I'll pay $5 for them.
Yeah, that's one thing here that they have priced so high, and they're just crazy prices on the Barbies at estate sales. But I'm just not although there was some Barbie. I went to an estate sale yesterday. Carla actually called me and said, "Are you going to this one?" I was like, on a Tuesday. I didn't even know there was one. She saw it on Facebook, but it was actually a company and everything. And they had 2 or 3 buckets of Barbie dolls. But I was looking in the bottom for any shoes because I saw this lady who sold, I want to say, well, it was 3 little bags of shoes. There was 2 in one of them, maybe 2 or 3 in the other, and 1 in the other one. And she sold them for $100. Just these old Barbie shoes. And one of them was kind of clear. And I was like, okay, that's one of the things I want to go to the bins for, like dig in the bottom for little toy pieces or something.
You have to always. It's because I have sold. What have I sold? In the last week and a half, 8 or 10 Barbies on Amazon, and even the crazy one sold the whatever hair Barbie for a couple $125.
Yeah, I just don't know that much about Barbie, and like I said, I mean, I went to one estate sale, and they were like unusual Barbies, but they wanted like 75, 100, 125, and I looked up a couple of them, and they're selling for $25 on eBay. So I just haven't spent my time in learning on that. But I have to say, the Barbies that I saw yesterday that were out of boxes, none of them had shoes.
I've stuck to only ones with only ones that are new in box.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a few of them still left over there, but sorry, I was looking at the auction item. Use your. So I sell at an auction. Oh my God, Harlan. So Harlan picked up a new girlfriend at the auction. Is what he's at a yard sale. Is what he's trying to tell you. Have y'all seen the picture of Harlan's new girlfriend?
No.
Wait, go solo.
So this thing. So how much does Harlan pay for his women? She was free, and they said that she just needed to leave. They thought she was haunted. That's Harlan's new girl. He's been cuddling with her at night. She tried to stab him. It's terrible.
That looks like one of those antique pictures of a dead person in a casket.
Mm.
So that was interesting. So Harlan and I, we were at this yard sale, and we're talking to the lady, and she had a gumball machine inside, and so we're gonna go inside and look at it, but she knew what it was worth, so we weren't gonna pay that much money for it, but her wife was filming a TikTok, and you can hear my voice in the background of the TikTok because Joni follows them on TikTok, and she calls us about 30 minutes later. She's like, "Were you guys just at a yard sale, two ladies yard sale?" Or like, "Yeah, why?" She goes, "I knew that was your voice in the TikTok."
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, her leather shoes are kind of old and kind of split. They are creepy. She's dirty.
Yeah, that estate sale I went to yesterday had a whole room full of dolls, and it is just kind of creepy.
It is.
It's
Went to an estate sale. It was a doll builder. They had like ceramic head molds and foot molds and just hundreds of dolls.
Yeah, it's we're out. You just find the weirdest stuff out there. And Harlan used to have a haunted attraction, so his old name used to be Halloween props and costumes or something. So that's right up his alley. I'm out. I don't need a creepy dog creeping me out. Because especially for something for the dogs to bark at. Yesterday, I took in, so at the auction, I got another dachshund. It's a little Halloween skeleton. You mash it, the eyes light up, and it barks. Franklin was having nothing to do with it. I put a treat on his head and put Franklin over there, and Franklin was doing this. If this was the tree, he was going, you push his head to it, he'd go like this. And as soon as you put it down, he ran under Joni's chair. He wouldn't come out. I'm like, Phoebe, on the other hand, you put a treat anywhere, she don't care. She knocks it over trying to get the treat. I'm like, yeah. And Dixie can't see or hear or anything, so Dixie doesn't know that dog exists. But anybody got any questions for us in the chat? I think we talked a lot about dealing with the issues that come up. Are you the optimist? Is the one thing I would tell you to make your life better and in anything, especially if this is your goal, is you've got to see the glass half full. if you train yourself to see half full, you know, I look at the chat and they're going, we don't have any estate sales. All we have is auctions. I'm like, well, then I'm taking my ass to an auction, and I'm gonna figure out where the best auctions are. You know, we don't have a lot of auctions around here, so I'm doing the online, and I will check out the estate sales. You know, have you trained yourself to see the opportunity, see the glass? Or you're never going to get anywhere if you look at it and go, well, damn, Tamara doesn't have any estate sales in her area. I don't know where she's going to source from. That's just terrible. She said that they sent it to auction, but I wanted to go to an estate sale. You know, it's a lot of it. A lot of what we do is in your control. You know, I've talked a lot about through the years of becoming an expert in your own area, finding out what's available. In order to find out what's available in your area, you got to find out how they sell it. All of it, Beard. You and Huntsville, you and Harlan have got the greatest yard sales. Our yard sales are terrible around here. I can tell you one thing: our thrift stores suck in Huntsville, Alabama. I rarely buy anything at a thrift store. I had somebody call me last night and say they've got some TI 84 silvers here, but they want $30 a piece for them. I'm like, they're selling for $42 online, eBay and Amazon. What good does that do me? You know, thrift stores are just, there's a couple that are, you know, I'll pick up something every now and then, but you know, if I was dependent on thrifting in Huntsville, Alabama, you know, I'd be trying to make somebody ask you, do you want fries or a combo? It'd be terrible.
Yeah, I quit going. You know, if I'm bored and I have nothing to do in town, yeah, I'll go to one.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
so Mike said he'd rather do an auction than an estate sale. For $50, you can fill a Jeep up. Understand that, folks. If you got limited funds and you want to figure out how to make them go farther, whereas the auctions are by far the cheapest way to buy a lot of merch. You have to get rid of some stuff. If you buy a lot of stuff and you're buying it for 3 or 4 items, you've got to be okay with getting rid of the other 5 or 6. Like loves combos, yeah. Yeah, we ate at a new wing place last night, and I'm like, can I just get a water? And she said, you want a cup or a bottle? I'm like, just a cup's fine. She charged me for a full drink, so I drank Diet Coke. I'm like, what the hell? $1.79 for a cup of water. I'm like, you guys your location is not great. On either location that y'all have is not great. So that kind of stuff is probably not going to endear you to the public, even though the wings are pretty decent. The glass is the light of an oncoming train.
Yeah, legs glass is half broken.
Would not argue with that lag. Is lag the only one left in the chat? What the hell?
I guess. I don't know. Mike's
is this broken? Lag, is this broken?
Mike's there too, but I have never been to an auction. I'd be really interested in trying one out.
Never been to an auction.
You don't have to go to an auction. They're all online now.
Yeah. I don't know. The only thing we have a lot of estate sales on auction here. And sometimes I see the same thing on more than one table, or you just can't see enough of it. And well, now the auction prices might be cheaper than the estate sale prices, but I feel like, I don't know. I feel like I need to see the stuff before I buy it. So and I also need to learn the whole, 10% upcharge and this and that. And so I know exactly what I'm doing. I mean, I just don't want to go in without knowing too much.
So Mimi says, many people don't know what they have. A reseller sold me an optometrist's office minus the chair for $30 and one machine. That's the superpower you have. And that's how you succeed in this business is you carry a freaking computer around. More power is in this that they faked the moon landing on. You like how I changed the saying now? Yeah, I used to tell you that a calculator, a power of a calculator was was more power than what they sent to the moon. But I'm having doubts about going to the moon. Who took the picture of them landing and leaving?
So, who's had summer slowdown? Because I haven't.
I haven't either.
Well, I just started in the summer and I'm doing pretty good, so I wouldn't say I had a slowdown.
I had my biggest sales day of the month yesterday. I sold 15 items for over $500. I'm like, that's good.
Yeah, a lot of it is
for me.
How much effort are you putting in the summer? That's what I would tell you. You know, that's the one thing.
I don't ever put in big effort. But if I can sell 500 in a day, shoot, what's everybody's excuse?
But you're very consistent. You list so many a day. You just, you kind of plod through and do what you do. And David Jarvis says he's slowed down. A lot of people, what part of the summer do you play? You know?
Yeah, he says he's slowed down his effort in sales.
Yep.
Which I really need to get back to listing. I've only got 30 things listed right now.
Lag is flying to the moon right now. Nice.
Is Mom coming with you for Lag?
Yeah, you picture it as lag. If lag is flying, it's like Smokey and the Bandit with the sun running behind him. But Dad, who's going to hold your hat?
That's true. The right product at the right price will always sell.
I can't believe someone who's an Auburn fan actually said something that's really important. Every product has a price. It doesn't. You know, you can have the right product at the wrong price. It's tough to sell. No matter how much you put on promoted listings, but Beard, you keep talking about promoted listings and that kind of stuff and paying to play, but I've got 100 items and none of them are selling. I challenge you to, do your picture suck? Did you put a foot in the picture to make sure they know it's a real thing? Did you list it correctly? Are you priced right? Are you getting out promotion because other people are more aggressive than you are? Because you're one of these people that goes, I'm not giving eBay any more money. I'm not using any promoted listings. I don't know why nothing sold.
Did you put pictures of your cleavage? That's the big one.
Yeah. Did you? Were you man enough to put a bra on to show your items?
I don't think mine would look all that good though, with the gray chest hair sticking out the top.
I haven't seen any in a while, but I always love those hairy toe pictures.
Oh yeah, they're awesome. Don't confuse those with camel toe pictures because that's a whole different subject.
Now I just had this picture in my head that Lag has hairy toe pictures.
Lag's probably got Bigfoot feet that he sticks one in there and that's all just covered in fur.
I know. Frodo feet.
Yeah, Frodo feet. That's him. Oh
Living
my God!
In a basement, he's got those web feet.
It's 10 o'clock. I got to eat breakfast so that I can list some more stuff.
Yep. And I'm working on systems today.
Yeah, I actually had two people yesterday. Somebody ordered a 3X half slip on Amazon. They paid $12.99 for it, and they wanted the expedited shipping, so they paid $24 for the shipping. I'm like, that makes no sense.
Oh, they got a wedding to look good for this weekend.
Tactical Z, that's tailgaters. We get there all the time. We ate there Friday after the yard sales and Saturday after the yard sales this last week. So Chastity says never promoted until March this year, and gross sales to date are more than 2020. Yeah, folks, take advantage of the systems. If I told you that you had to give up 10% of your sales but you're gonna sell an additional 90%. Items that chances are you'd be buried in search and they wouldn't have seen. They'd have bought somebody else's. It's time
Yeah,
to
I'm definitely going to try the dynamic with a cap today.
Yep, that's what I challenge you guys. Keep studying,
What's your cap
keep
gonna
learning.
be?
That was worth the whole show today, just to know that. So thanks. I think it was Josh who mentioned it.
How big is the cap gonna be that you're gonna put on it?
I don't know. I got to look into it.
Okay.
I have 6% now, but I'm thinking maybe 9. I don't know. I got to look.
I only have Alabama caps. I don't have eBay caps. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Hit the thumbs up if you've learned something or we entertained you in the slightest. I used to not ask for it, and whether I ask people to hit the thumbs up or not, it's the same number regardless. So I realize y'all are just here for our charming personalities and us to teach you something, and it's too much work to hit the thumbs up, so it's okay.
So he's going to put the dynamic rate on the thumbs up next week.
Next week, if the dynamic works for you, you hit the thumbs up. That's the word. All right. Roll Tide.
Bye.